Hey everyone, thanks for being here. I have got a new story to share with you today, and it starts with something I never thought would happen. My name is Ryan, and if life has taught me anything, it is that things can change in the blink of an eye. Just 3 years ago, I thought I had it all figured out: marriage, career, stability, and now everything that once felt permanent is just a memory. It is strange to think about, but I never imagined I would run into my ex-wife again, and when I did, she cried. In that moment, I wish I could say I knew exactly how I felt, but I did not. I did not know whether to feel proud of how far I had come or crushed by everything I had lost along the way. To make any sense of that encounter, I need to go back to where it all started, because none of it makes sense without the full story. Sophia and I met at the fitness center where she worked at the front desk. I had been going there for a while, and while she was always polite, we did not really talk until one day we did. I do not even remember how the conversation started, but once it did, it just kept going. There was something about her. Before I knew it, I was looking forward to our chats and hoping she would be there when I walked in. It did not take long for things to turn into something more. We started dating, and within a year and a few months, I thought I knew her inside and out. We spent weekends together, went on long drives, cooked meals side by side. I felt certain I had found someone I could build a life with, so I proposed. She said yes. We got married. At the time, everything felt like it was falling into place. I had a stable job as a back-end engineer at TechCorp, the pay was great, and we lived comfortably. Sophia was still working at the fitness center, but I believed she was capable of so much more. She had the kind of mind that could take on anything if she wanted to, so I encouraged her to quit and consider freelancing. I told her I would help teach her the skills I had. We had the financial cushion to take the risk, and I wanted to see her do something she actually enjoyed. She agreed. We were starting a new chapter, and we were hopeful, talking about the future, maybe even kids. But then everything changed when the pandemic hit. The whole world shut down. TechCorp took a major hit, and I was one of the many caught in the layoffs. There was not much explanation, but at a time like that, I guess no one really needed one. I tried to stay positive. I threw myself into side projects I had been putting off, hoping I could turn one of them into something sustainable, but the money was not the same, and soon we had to face reality. I sat Sophia down and told her we needed to cut back. I told her I could not keep things going the way they were, and we both had to adjust. I thought she would understand. I was wrong. She did not take it well. Something in her shifted after that. The warmth I had known disappeared. The small disagreements we used to laugh off turned into full-blown fights. It got to the point where every little thing sparked tension. She started treating me like I was a burden. She called me lazy, told me I was not trying hard enough. I was doing everything I could, but it never seemed to be enough for her. I did not recognize the woman in front of me anymore. She was not just stressed, she seemed to resent me. And the more I tried to fix things, the worse it got. Eventually, she said she wanted to visit her parents. I thought the space might help. Maybe a break would clear her mind and give us a chance to regroup. But once she left, everything went silent. She barely responded to my texts. Calls were ignored or cut short. Her tone was cold, distant. Weeks passed, then months. One day, I finally asked when she was coming back. She replied, "I am only coming to pick up my things. I have decided to end the marriage." I was blindsided. Yes, we were struggling, but I never thought divorce would come so suddenly, so casually. She did not want to talk about it. She did not want to divide assets. She just wanted a cash settlement to avoid dragging it through court. I was too exhausted to argue, so I agreed. We worked out an amount, and that was it. When she came to collect her things, she did not even look at me. No words, no eye contact, just packed and left. I stood there alone in the apartment we once shared, completely shattered. What followed was one of the darkest stretches of my life. I lost myself. Some days, I did not even want to be here. I thought about ending it all more than once. The only reason I did not was because of a few close friends who refused to let go of me. They showed up, they fed me, they sat with me, they carried me through when I could not stand on my own. That time broke me, but it also forced me to face a truth I did not want to accept. She was gone, and if I wanted to survive, I had to rebuild from scratch. So I did. I threw myself into work. My side projects became my lifeline. I treated coding like therapy. I would wake up and work all day, reading, building, testing, failing, then starting again. I did not know where it would lead, but I was determined that if life had knocked me flat, I would not stay there. I would rise up and make the pain mean something. There were days when I would sit alone, thinking about how far I was from where I wanted to be. Most months, I barely scraped by. I was not making six figures, not even close. But I kept grinding. At a certain point, it was not just about chasing success anymore. I needed it. I needed proof that I had not hit my peak, that I was not finished just because my marriage had collapsed. 2 years passed like that, quiet hustle, slow progress. Then something unexpected happened. One of the features I had built on the side as part of an artificial intelligence tool started catching attention. At first, a few small businesses reached out to try it out. Then interest began to snowball. Word of mouth kicked in, and suddenly I was fielding emails from bigger companies, ones I used to dream about working with. I thought it might just be a fluke, but the messages kept coming. That is when I realized I had built something with real value. Then came the email I will never forget. A major tech company, one I had admired since my days working at TechCorp, was interested in acquiring my startup. I stared at that email for what felt like hours, rereading it over and over. I called my team, and we sat down to talk things through. When we finally saw the numbers, we were stunned. It was not just life-changing money, it was the kind of money that could change generations. We voted unanimously to accept the deal. But there was more. Along with the acquisition, they offered me a long-term partnership role. I was not just cashing out and walking away, I was joining the ranks of a company I had always respected. I remember sitting alone in my apartment the night the deal went through. No big celebration, no toasts or cheers, just me quietly sitting with the weight of everything I had endured, finally realizing I had made it. It had been years since Sophia left. I had not seen or heard from her in ages. Then one afternoon, I ran into Jake, an old friend, while grabbing coffee. We chatted a bit, mostly about my recent success. Then, out of nowhere, he asked how I was doing after the whole thing with Sophia. I told him I had moved on, focused on work. He nodded and said something that stopped me cold. Crazy how that guy left her after the construction job wrapped up. Guess she is single again. I asked what he meant. What guy, what construction job? Jake looked surprised. He thought I already knew, but I did not. He explained that during the lockdown, Sophia had been living with someone else, some engineer she had apparently been seeing while we were still married. Jake had seen them together a lot. Turns out, she never went to her parents like she told me. I had ignored everyone after the divorce, including Jake's calls, so I never got the heads up. That moment shattered something in me. I always held on to the idea that maybe our marriage just did not survive the pressure. But knowing she had been living a double life during it, that cut deep. Still, I did not let it pull me back into that dark place. I had come too far. A few months later, the company that acquired us invited me to speak at their annual corporate gala, an upscale black tie event. Since I was now a partner, I was given the stage. I dressed to the nines that night. As I looked in the mirror, I saw someone I had not recognized in a long time, someone strong, someone proud. The venue was stunning, all polished marble and soft jazz. When they called me up, I walked on stage feeling calm and ready. But then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw her. Sophia. She was sitting at one of the tables in a beautiful emerald gown. She looked just like I remembered, elegant, composed. I found out later she had come as someone's plus one, but in that moment, seeing her, everything inside me shifted. I had a polished speech prepared, but I did not use it. Instead, I spoke from the heart. I talked about patience, how sometimes we have to lose everything before we find what we truly need. I talked about pain and how it can shape us if we let it. To the room full of executives and partners, it sounded like I was reflecting on corporate growth strategies. They nodded along, smiling. But really, every word was for her. When I finished and stepped down from the stage, I saw her wiping tears from her face. I do not know which part hit her the hardest, but I knew she understood. I mingled after that, smiled, shook hands, but I noticed she kept watching me. It was like she was waiting for a chance to talk, but it never came. I was too busy, too surrounded. About a week later, I got a text from an unknown number. It was short. Can we meet? I would really like to talk. I did not need a name to know who it was. I stared at it for a while, then left it on read. Eventually, I blocked the number. I did not want to go back. It had been 3 years since she walked away, and whatever she had to say did not matter anymore. That chapter was over. I had written something better since then. Looking back now, I learned a lot about people, life, and myself. Patience is powerful. When everything fell apart, I was scared. I did not know how long it would take to feel whole again. But rushing things, making decisions out of fear, that would have destroyed everything. Rebuilding took time. There were sleepless nights and days where I felt nothing at all. But I focused on what I could control. Eventually, the pieces started falling into place, not quickly, but steadily. And I almost gave up. I came so close to quitting on myself. If I had, there would be no artificial intelligence project, no team, no deal, no speech, none of it. That is why I want to say this to anyone out there struggling. Please do not give up. You do not know what the future could hold if you just hang on a little longer. Lastly, pain does not have to just sit there. It can fuel you. It can shape you into someone stronger. I did not do all this to get revenge or prove anything to anyone. I just refused to let the pain go to waste. I used it, and that is what got me here. So let me ask you, if you were in my position, what would you have done? Would you have blocked her? Would you have answered? Would you have taken her back? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know. This is not just my story. A lot of people go through this kind of thing in different ways. And if this story hit home for you, made you think, or helped you feel seen, give it a like and share it. It helps more than you know. Thanks for listening. Take care of yourself.